What do you have to consider if you're looking at getting a purebred dog versus a mutt? And this is from somebody that has had mutts my entire life and now has purebred dogs. So this is my take. Okay, my entire life, my parents, I grew up with wiener dogs, dachshunds, or Dachshund for those people in Germany, and labs and mutts. And all great dogs. I understand that dachshunds and labs are purebred dogs, or, you know, bastardized versions of purebred dogs. When I grew up, out of my folks' house, I had a number of mutts. But the best dog I ever had was my Luna, and she was 16 and a half years old when she passed, and she was a lab mutt, like a mix. Maybe lab boxer, maybe lab shepherd, but she was pretty small for that. We don't really know. But best dog I ever had. And the experience of having a mutt for 16 and a half years was the best dog experience I've ever had. Now, the reason is that if you think about this in nature, if dogs were just running wild everywhere, they would be mixing the breeds up all the time. They'd all be humping each other, they'd all be having all kind of crossbreed shit, and then eventually you get something that is just running wild, right? But the nature has a way of taking the best traits from all things. When you get a purebred dog, what you don't really understand for a lot of people is that that's an inbred dog, essentially. It's the same traits being bred over and over and over. And it's the same positive traits and the same negative traits. So I've got an English bulldog. My daughter has a pug, which are both purebred. And then they've got a puppy together. It's another much longer story, which is a bull pug, which is half and half. Now, you can guess which ones have the health problems and the issues, and it's not the bull pug who is the cross or is the mutt. So let me tell you this. Problem with having a purebred dog is that bad traits, hip dysplasia, shoulder problems, breathing problems, skin problems, dietary restrictions, first of all, make these dogs incredibly expensive both to have and to maintain, because if you have an English bulldog like I do, and he needs the breathing surgery that most of them have, like, between $3,000 and $6,000 at most vets in the US. So something to think about when you're talking about price of being able to maintain the dog. It's not just like you're giving them better food, like you're talking about significant financial advancement. Then, like, I'll tell you, with both, like the English bulldog that we have, that's not a naturally breeding dog, meaning that those and French bulldogs are artificially inseminated because their, bred hip height is not natural for them to be able to hump and to produce, puppies. So that's how most of those dogs are born. So that being said, you have a number of very costly things that can happen. You also have a very often amplified attitude structure because the same things are being bred over and over. Now, they can be bred for really positive attitude things, like maybe, they're really docile or they're really, friendly or whatever. But a lot of them are just bred for the look. So if you have something like this, you have to understand that they might have there's breeds with tremendous anxiety that have been bred to be extremely smart and look a certain way, but they have horrible anxiety that's passed down from generation to generation. Then you just got like a nervous dog all the time. Weimaraners are one that's very famous for that. They're like the smartest breed, intelligence-wise, of any dog, and they're also extremely skittish a lot of the time, and they are often very just anxiety ridden and just like all the time. And I don't really want that in a dog. I want my dog to be chill as fuck, right? Friendly as hell when people come to the door. That's what I want. Or if you have a guard dog, you want different traits, but you know what I'm saying. So carefully consider the fact that going to your local humane society and either adopting a dog that is already on its way in life is not the worst thing in the world, guys. It's really not. And I know a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's not, I don't really want a puppy. There's puppies everywhere. You can go to the fucking grocery store right now and adopt a puppy out of, a grocery cart from somebody that's selling them for $40. That shit is everywhere. But if you really think you need a certain breed, understand that yes, it's going to come with a certain look that you might want, but also understand that it might also come with a lot of negative traits and a lot of costs that you have not considered yet. So what I would tell you is to carefully read about your breed. Also, I'm very sorry to say this, and I know it's not going to be a popular opinion, it's very controversial, but go look at the bite matrix. If you don't know what the bite matrix is, people will tell you, well, any dog can be a good dog if you train it right. Absolutely, just like any kid can be a good kid if you train the kid right. However, still, you can go to Google right now and go type in number of dog bites on humans per year, and you'll see like the top 10 dog breeds that bite humans the most. You might really want to carefully consider if you really want that in your home, especially if you have children, because you might be training it the best in the world, but if that fucking thing bites your kid so severely and you knew that that was something that was like number 1 through 5 on stuff that most commonly bites humans, you're kind of fucking asking for it. So heavily consider the breed, the bite matrix, all that type of stuff to really see what you want to do. And people get like furious that I would bring that up because they're like, I trained my dog and it's all about the training. This breed has a bad reputation because it has bad owners. Probably. Still, I'm not going to mess with the statistics of like, same reason you don't buy a home in a bad area if you can afford it. Yeah, you might have the greatest neighbors ever, but now you have a higher probability that you're going to have your car broken into or your house broken into and problems in your neighborhood. So maybe carefully consider that as well. And so you try to do what you can to mitigate for safety in this world. So I would tell you that if you get the chance, don't get a purebred dog, get a mutt instead. Mutts often have better temperament, less health problems, they live longer, friendlier, more easy to maintain dogs. If you really need to get a purebred dog, do heavy research on both the positives and the negatives of that breed. Let me know your opinion, guys. Again, all dogs deserve to be adopted. All dogs deserve to have a home, but we perpetuate as a society, and I did too, and I'll never do it again. I'll never get a purebred dog again, even though I love the shit out of my dogs. It was an expensive lesson to learn, and dealing with everything that comes with it is not something I would recommend to other people. Let me know your thoughts.